right, you guys, we're doing a problem here. This is this problem right here, so you can see the drawing. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. I'll just read through what the question is asking in the statement. It's the problem statement, and I'll show you how I figured out the answer. So it just says that Joanne made a jewelry box with the base of the shape as a rectangular prism with a cover in the shape of a square pyramid. So find the height of the cover. So what we're looking for is this piece right here that we're trying to focus on. So what I'm going to do is a two-part thing. So you can see kind of this is my drawing of it as best as I can do. But you see that this is a square-based pyramid, which is a rectangular prism. And the reason why it's a rectangular prism and not a square or a cube is because the length and the width are the same. We can tell that by the little markings here indicating that this is the base is square, and it says it's square. It's 12 inches across around the bottom. The only reason what makes it a rectangular prism is because this is not the same size. It's only 8 inches tall. So that's kind of why. The only other information we have besides the 12 inches around on the base is that the slant height right here on the pyramid is 10 inches. So what we're gonna do in order to figure out the information here, we have a triangle, and if it's a little bit easier, you might be able to see right here. So we need to figure out how did I get the 8.5 right here, but we're looking for really the height right here. So this is like pretending like this is a top that has a solid base like of a square, and it's a pyramid shape. So in order for me to do that, what I am gonna start off by doing is, since the square of this is 12 by 12, I'm gonna find out, in order for me to find out this diagonal right here that I need for the triangle piece, one of the legs, I'm gonna find out what the diagonal is for this base so I can figure out some pieces of information. So really what you have is a triangle that looks basically like this. You have the dotted line that I just drew, and then you have these two pieces. Now this is the same as this, so this is 12, this is 12. So you're gonna find the diagonal. So you've got 12 squared plus 12 squared is equal to c squared, or whatever you would like to call it. So that's gonna be 144 plus 144 equals c squared. And then when you add these two together, you get 288 equals c squared. Now, you want to square root both sides, and what you're gonna get when you square root 288 is, you're gonna get, nearest tenth would be 16.97, but 9 was gonna round up. So you're really gonna be having roughly a 17-inch diagonal. So this is gonna be roughly 17 inches, and we're rounding that to the nearest tenth. So like I said, this is approximately 17. So that being said, this is the base. So this is this piece right here that we're talking about. Now, I'm going up here to do this piece right here. So this, again, when you're talking about the height of the pyramid, this is dead center. It's gonna drop down from the peak of this to the dead middle of that base. And this line is gonna come out here. That is it's half of half of the hypotenuse of the diagonal here. So if 17 inches is the whole diagonal, we're gonna take 17 and we're gonna cut it in half. And when I divide 17 in half, you get 8.5. So that's why this diagonal, when you look at this picture, that's where I got the 8.5 right here. And it's a little bit easier, probably right here, you can see it. Now that I have the 8.5 here, and I have that 10-inch, now I'm able to figure out what the height of this triangle is right here by using the Pythagorean. And so I go ahead, and I'm missing, again, one piece of it, so we'll just call it x. So I have x squared plus our height, I'm sorry, not our height, our other leg, which is 8.5, that was half the diagonal, and it's equal to the slant height, which you can see right here is 10. So what you're gonna end up having is 10 squared, which is 100, and then we're gonna do 8.5 squared, which is 72.25, and then plus x squared, and then we're gonna subtract this on both sides. And when I do 100 minus the 72.25, we're gonna end up with an answer of x squared equaling 27.75. Now we want to get rid of the square. We always have to get rid of the square piece. So we're going to square root both sides. And when I square root that, you're going to get x equaling approximately, we're rounding to the nearest tenth, so 5.2. The 6 is going to round that 2 up to a 3. So it's going to be roughly 5.3 inches in height. And that will be your finalized answer, which you can see is right there. And if you want more questions like these, find them on my YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at YouWantAlgebra. All these are going to be located in the Pythagorean theorem playlist. And don't forget, save it for later, share, like, follow, do all the things, and I will see you soon.